Today, happy birthday, Aaron. Your gift, a meeting with a familiar foe Sunday. The Bears. Justin Fields was a full-go in practice yesterday. Rodgers 24-5 in his career against Chicago, including the playoffs. Does the mastery continue Sunday, Swaggo?
It does, Molly Q. I think this offense is actually finding a little stride. Now, obviously, Aaron's health is directly tied to how well they play. But over the last couple of weeks, you see this offense starting to wake up a little bit. Justin Fields being a little bit hampered with the shoulder. I know that has nothing to do with his legs and how effective he's been on the ground. But I just think Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in this particular game is going to have a day.
Listen, it's against the Bears. It's against the Bears. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, the
are you going to DJ for the second half of the show? Because I would love that.
Just
a little two-step.
The bottom line is this. He's playing against the Bears. If Mike White can go out there and ball out against the Chicago Bears, do you know how bad Aaron Rodgers is going to look if he doesn't?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what the history is. I understand how I own you. I still own you, like he said last. I get all of that. But could you imagine what the year that the Green Bay Packers had? If you want to put the seal on the coffin, let Aaron Rodgers go out there and stink up the joint against the Chicago Bears one Sunday after Mike White put 300-plus yards on them for the New York Jets. I mean, that would be embarrassing.
First of all, Steven, his name is Mike White. You got to say it the right way. That's how we say it around here in New York. You got to put some respect on it. And secondly, like, he will be going against Justin Fields, not going against Trevor Siemian. This is what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers shouldn't even be playing, y'all. That's the real conversation we need to be having. Jordan Love needs to be evaluated. We need to see Jordan Love evaluation because we need to have one or two conversations with Aaron Rodgers. We think that we can get something for you. Jordan Love is ready to take your position, much like you took Brett Favre's position after 3 years of sitting behind him. You can do our team a favor, and we'll do you a favor by sending you to a team that you can win a Super Bowl with. Or we're talking to Aaron Rodgers saying we need to evaluate Jordan Love so we can try and get rid of him and trade him for somebody like Jimmy G was traded for to get some draft equity because there's no reason to have this kid sitting on the damn bench. We don't know if he can play.
Hey, listen, we were talking about that earlier this week. I'm glad you brought that up because I got a question for you and Swagoo. I just thought about this as Bart Scott was talking. I didn't have this plan, Swagoo. It just popped in my head. You know, we hold Jordan Love accountable and we say, you know what, he might not be ready. Is it possible that Green Bay is afraid for us to see Jordan Love in case he's not ready because it highlights their lack of player development? I'm just asking.
Is
that possible?
That's a great question, Stephen A. That's a great question. And your question just sparked something in my mind. I love how this show is going because we opening things up. We opening up boxes. It may be that they don't want to display him because somebody going to come get him. That could be a situation, too, as far as how he played. Man, Jordan Love looked fine to me against the Eagles late in that game.
He looked good.
He looked fine to me. Now, and to your point, Bart, I think we all in line with Aaron Rodgers, seeing what Jordan Love have. You get into the window of having to make a decision on him anyway, and you sitting here trying to figure out where the future of your team lies. And I've always said, and I've been on the show, and me and Stephen A. have argued about the bad man, other shows as well. I said a year ago that the Green Bay Packers should trade Aaron Rodgers. And everybody was looking at me stupid because he had just won the league MVP. But the bottom line is there is nothing about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, even with this 3-year, $150 million deal, that makes you comfortable that he's going to want to be there. That makes you comfortable that this is going to work out and everything is going to be fine because he has a check. And that's the reason I say you should be looking for trade possibility along with figuring out what Jordan Love is.
Jordan Love may be something. Now that we realize that he was being coached by Nathaniel Hackett, it took a year to wash that stench off of him.
Yeah, that's true. Hackett out here ruining dreams, man. Hackett got Russell Wilson. Hackett got Russell Wilson looking like he ain't never played football before.
Russell Wilson playing like Charlie Wilson.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. What's wrong with Charlie Wilson? What's wrong with Charlie Wilson?
You talking
about one of the
I love the Gap Band. He's a great singer. I don't think he can play no ball, though.
I understand that, but you said he playing like Charlie Wilson, so people gonna think you talk about his music. You ain't talking about his music. We need to correct it. We need to make sure we clarify that.
I love it. I love me some Gap Band, some Charlie Wilson. Uncle Charlie, everybody's on it.
Now, Russell Wilson, I mean, he looks bad. And I'm not even laughing about it. Now, Hackett, he's over. He's over. He's got to go. They got new ownership up in there in Denver. They're going to get rid of him. And that better be the reason why Russell Wilson looks this bad. Because if people talk about Taylor, I still believe in Russell Wilson. I cannot believe that there could be that dramatic of a precipitous drop-off. I can't believe it. It's just that bad.
I just think that's too much.
Yeah, listen, no, you wake up one day, like, it's amazing, right? Because we have a football season. It's basically in 2 years, but it's in 1 year's time. I've seen guys' athleticism fall off the face of the earth, and they just looked great 6 months ago. It looks like Russell Wilson doesn't have the quick twitch anymore to be those off-schedule, let Russ cook moonball type of plays. Because guys are keeping him in.
Bart, you're sure that's it?
With all the
You don't think it's the coach, the offense, the whole thing?
I never thought that Russell would be the worst Wilson in football.
Wow. Wow. Listen, that sounds funny. That sounds funny. But he's right. Russell Wilson looks that bad.
Yeah.
Marcus, do you think, does that fall on Russell Wilson, or is that falling more on everything going down there in Denver? The coach, the offense, et cetera?
More of it is falling on Russell Wilson. He got $250 million, Molly. That's always going to be the overall arching theme around Russell Wilson. And two, when we talked about this situation 2 years previous to this, we all talked about how Denver was a quarterback away. And when they signed Russell Wilson, the excitement about this division came up, and everybody was like, oh, this is about to be the greatest division in football. And Russell Wilson playing like crap. Josh McDaniels looked like he can't coach outside of the past 2 weeks. And we know the Chargers been riddled by injury. Look like they starting to get back on their feet. But we got Aaron Rodgers and we got Justin Fields on this bottom line. Let me get back to Green Bay, because Green Bay got to catch this smoke. We all transition this to Denver. Yeah. Green Bay got to catch this smoke. When we gonna start asking questions about Matt LaFleur? Say it, Stephen A. Say Matt LaFleur. How you do it? Say how you do it.
You know why I don't want to do it? Because Matt LaFleur complained to some people, and then you got some people in other parts of the company. He's calling Matt LaFleur out of his name. So I try to refrain. But you did ask me, so I'll do it one more time. Matt LaFleur.
You do like spending time in the south of France.
We got to call Joe Barry out too, because they have too much talent on the defensive side of the ball to be that bad. And they got rid of Mike Pettin 2 years ago, and they playing like garbage juice.
And the reason why my issue with Matt LaFleur is that when you complain about him, y'all complain about defense 1 minute, special teams the next. But if you notice, whatever complaint you have at him at the beginning of the season, it's still there at the end. It's like they prepare in training camp, and then they just go along the next 16, 17 games instead of making adjustments and making sure that you eradicate the mistakes that people were pointing out. That's my issue with Green Bay's coaching staff. They don't seem to do that.
Let me tell you my issue, S.A. and Bart, and here it is. Because we going to focus on Aaron Rodgers. We know Aaron Rodgers has been in the center of the drama, right? And even when this team was winning, it was drama at 13-3. But Matt LaFleur got insulated. Now you got the coach. And nothing about this team has changed from week one to where we are sitting right now. Yeah, you could say they've had some good offensive performances and his expertise is offense. The problem is when you the head coach, you got to see transition throughout your entire team. There is so much failure with the Green Bay Packers. And we get stuck on Aaron Rodgers because he talked to Pat McAfee every week and he makes these statements. And y'all know I'm as hard on Aaron Rodgers as anybody in media when it comes to ESPN. But Matt LaFleur has been absolved of a lot of things because of Aaron Rodgers. And I thought about that when we asked this question, will Rodgers continue dominance of the Bears? Matt LaFleur has benefited, obviously, like all coaches do, from having a really good quarterback. Yeah. But when you look at this situation this year in particular, in totality, he has also been an epic failure along with what Green Bay has put on the field.
To your point, Swagoo, we give a lot of credit to coaches that are system coaches. Now, listen, everybody knows I don't like the Patriots, but I have to tip my cap to Bill Belichick because Bill Belichick coaches what he has. And what we have when we have these system coaches, when the system fails, they have no adjustments. They have no plan B. And what we're seeing here, they lost a great player, their Cooper Kupp type of player that dictated coverage and made it easier for everybody else, and they have no plan B. Andy Reid lost the greatest single weapon in the game, in my opinion, in Tyreek Hill, and he had a plan B. So we give all these young coaches that come from these systems, and we give them all this credit in the world, but they're not real coaches. They're not teachers. If their system doesn't work, they're out of ideas. And that's what we're seeing.
And then remember, we had questions as to whether or not they deserved the job in the first place. In Kingsbury's situation in Arizona, what did you do to deserve that job? In Matt LaFleur's situation, in Green Bay, you were the offensive coordinator of the 27th ranked offense in the National Football League. And now the first time you really had to coach, look at what we're seeing.
My point.
We've seen coaching matters. Just look at my New York Football Giants. Look what Dable did. Turn that baby right around.
Weeks ago.
You would, Molly Q.
We're going to get to some college. Sit tight, fellas. Des is stopping by. Conference Championship weekend, college football playoffs on the line. Who's in, who's out? Our Heisman Trophy winner stopping by. Desmond next.